Welcome to our lovely future humans, our conscious leaders, and those who are curious about our somatic mindset micro-habits and the capacity to use them for personal growth, spiritual ascension. If you're new, it's the next generation of leaders, those of us who are conscious, that get to support the species of ours to keep moving forward. We do have our 3D, 4D brothers and sisters. That collective is going to stick around, but our 5D collective is moving into the 7th dimension. And yes, I'm a woo-woo pseudoscience lady, but I know that strength comes from within, and I want to talk to you about that one and how these lovely somatic mindset micro-habit practices, the ones on PayHip and the guides, support those of you who have this capacity to wield your nervous system. Sovereignty, of course. And so at the very bare minimum, you know, autonomous self-regulation. That's why you're self-led. And what is missing on our lovely social media platforms, whether it's LinkedIn with professionals, whether it's YouTube with professionals, whether it's also on TikTok and Instagram, is those who are empowered to be their genuine, authentic, functional inner child adult self. Okay, so the restored, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person, they choose somatic resource, my body; mindset resource, my mind. I am afraid of uncertainty and unknowns because I'm a human, and I will never have complete certainty of anything, but I do have self-agency. And that's why your sovereign blueprint, your embodied brain, is yours. And so you wield your emotions. They're not your rulers, they're your signals. You wield your thoughts. They're not your rulers, they are thoughts. They are not needing to be observed like it's some object. This is your human stuff. It's you. So when someone forgets who they are, to me, it's your name. Use it, and you have an ego and a self, and you will not look to others to tell you how to do life because you're already leading it the way you want to. But you will look to others to support growing intelligence, intellectually, growing emotionally. Okay, so the validating, we don't validate weaknesses or strengths in a way of weakening each other. We validate, which is, I believe in you and I see you, and we're all human, so we all have feelings. As for the ones who stay in 3D, 4D land, they have enemies that they still don't know compassion towards. So they have not embraced spirituality. The spiritual bypasser community have not embraced that which is their true nature yet. The human nature and the spiritual nature walk hand in hand. The ones who don't understand it and are judging our brothers and sisters, the ones who do suffer, I understand their pain because I see it to this day. I know it will be taken care of, because that's how it works when you have faith and when you're in communion with all that is. Also, I saw cosmic karmic balancing take place, but I didn't need proof. That's how I'm going to bring it to you. Okay, so stick around if you want some stories. I will tell you about how strength really works from the body, but how we don't want to say that those who are insecure aren't strong. They were strong, very much so. And then they decided that, no, that's not a straightforward equation. Okay, so I'm going to pause. And so this misunderstanding about how thoughts work, how triggers work, you can work with your triggers and you can work with stressful moments because you can use eustress. The part that is clear, so yesterday's a bunch of earthquakes, a 4.7 that led to then 3.0s and 2.0s, and as essentially my body got to take a hit. So today it's still recuperating. Do you think I slept well? I slept. Eventually I crashed because my body's going to need sleep. But the nervous system is going to continue to unload that which it took, because not only the actual shock physical of the earth and whatnot, but also people who are scared around you, because we co-regulate as a species. Those who don't know this, they don't. Those who are afraid of somatic countertransference, there's nothing to be afraid of. Your brothers and sisters are nervous systems like you. You learn how to differentiate and link, and you embody the we that Dr. Daniel Siegel talks about. Because you have a me and a we anyway, so you're going to continue to do that. Relational integrity involves that you understand that you're always co-regulating to those around you, and you also don't need them to self-regulate, because differentiating and linking means you spot your stuff and you know that you can breathe and you regulate. And as a Reiki master and an Akashic record reader and tarot, there's never been an energy vampire in my sphere. And when I have low frequencies, that's not energy vampires. It's people who suffer life, might I add, and then there's a whole bunch more I could say, but I'm going to pause. So in high pressure moments, you can get activated, your nervous system, past events can come up, deep emotions and core wounds can come up, and we know that our autonomic nervous system, it defaults to this survival mode and this defensive thought. So you are now the wielder of the mind, which is why you don't engage in positive or negative thinking. You engage in, okay, I've been activated, oh wow, because you'll spot it. That's the practice. The first practice is that you are spotting your effective realism and or strong emotions, and you're not painting a picture based on words because you're noticing the charge. That's the practice as I continue to try to read to you. So when you're using the mind and the body, it will be paired. The physical body, you anchor it in ventral energy, and then with conscious cognitive reframing, you get to restore an immediate sense of internal composure, and you're anchoring long-term self-sovereignty, but also you can address other with a firm kindness, a firm love, an aware timber. I'm irritated, I'm sad, I'm whatever it is. Okay, so you use the word. And it's not trying to label another person. It's everybody's comfortable with how they'll talk about it. I talk about my 1-year-old wanting a hug sometimes. I'll just talk about me being activated, and so I'm putting stress in my hips, for example. So you'll have very good relationship and agency of your embodied brain, belonging of yourself, and the certainty to the best of your ability, because of course we all want that. And the putting the micro-habit practice into effect, you get to not only be disciplined in a fun way, because it's not a duty, it is a empowering journey as you enlighten yourself. And so the only reason people don't achieve this level of inner strength, which is the curious, is because they're like, I want to do it, Marie, I'm tired, I keep on doing this every day. That's what personal growth and spiritual ascension are. You don't have to, but if you do, eventually it leads to, okay, so let's see what got activated, what didn't. And that's why even when you have triggers, of course, there's something I get to work on today because I got triggered, I snapped. That's a goal. Some won't want to snap at someone. They want to achieve that complete firm kindness. Those are very beautiful goals. So it depends entirely on a vital criterion, this lovely capacity for you. Number one, if you want it, and you can accept that, yeah, things don't always go the way you want. Things will be scary, they will be upsetting, but with the nervous system in the forefront, you get to regulate. And so you practice this regulation, and as you are possessing that capacity to process what is coming up, you notice also the window tolerance. And so with that, your body is going to experience different levels of intensity, and you'll know what your window tolerance is and how to move into a window welcome, how to keep yourself safe and happy. Luckily, we're all more informed on that, and those are the micro habits that you will be experiencing with these two distinct levels that I'm going to talk to you about. Even though, don't write too many notes, because I'm organizing content in a way that can formulate this effectively for those of you who read the description. Then obviously I share with you stories and help you to understand how I put it into practice. And then there's Substack if you want to ask any questions. And as I continue, level 1, core somatic mindset micro-habits. This level requires an active functional baseline of nervous system regulation skills. To practice at this level, you must possess the capacity to track your internal physiological sensations, images, affects, behaviors, meanings, all that good stuff. And that will be so that you can stay fully present with a high internal charge without clinically dissociating. So you all know your own capacity. For me, panic attacks did not have me not be able to continue to do my day-to-day. So you actively self-lead your own body back to safety because you know how to wade it through while you're working with those sensations, image, behaviors, affects, meaning. So again, this is that empowered inner strength that comes with the curiosity and the capacity to know it's okay. I have temperament, personality patterns, and a nervous system, so I'm working with my embodied self-leadership capacity. Self-sovereign people, or just being yourself, is what I knew it as, and now I know it's still the same thing, but not everybody has this capacity. They can, but again. So in application, it looks like a complete 5 to 10 minute intentional protocol, such as the SMART Ventral Pivot or the SMART Micro-Habit protocols that you will look at, pay up and find. During the practice, you actively uncharge internal friction, close the emotional mental loops, and consciously integrate back into a state of structural wholeness. And with that, you get to be uncharged of the state. You can step back into the environment that you're dealing with, clear all of that which was going on with mental wisdom, as well as talk about, if there's things to talk about, but you're naturally going to continue co-regulating since you've self-regulated, and everyone else in the room will feel at ease, because that's what a safe haven, secure base, a securely attached, healthy self-worth, conscious leader does. So real regulated leadership is this. And it's not, I want to live now. And it's not, they're not doing it. It's somatic countertransference. Okay, so whenever you're seeing the ones who are not yet here, they can be here. I don't know their window tolerance, but some I know can be here simply by noticing their chit chatter. And yeah, when you're activated, we all can be grumpy bear or Gargamel. Level 2, the Sub-Somatic-Mindset Micro-Habit. Or habits, how you prefer, singular, plural. Really, it's a consistency. But what happens when you are right in the heat of a high pressure environment, so like with the earthquake stuff, right? In 5 seconds, I know I'm going to be breathing. I'm going to be working with my activated nervous system. That's as simple as that. But a trigger hits hard when it's with people. That's where some people have a bigger challenge maintaining composure, but they want to, because that's the effectiveness of true leadership, is firm kindness, because you are compassionate. Why? Because you're intelligent, sentient beings. Leaders are made of the inner strength. Strength, the word, externally, the 2 hands that people think can beat someone up, that is not strength. That's simply the capacity, though, for someone to beat someone up. As for strength, being able to stay steady under pressure, well, who wants to be supported in a moment of fear? The sky is not falling, Chicken Little. Come here, let me hug you. The biggest fear of all of humanity involves the same basic one that we all will have, which is why firm kindness of an embodied human being brain, whether man, woman, they, don't matter, that's going to be the person who brings into the room a sense of safety. And when they're grounded in reality and speaking words of sense to people, those who don't like it, that's okay. Those who do appreciate it, like it, and learn from it, those are the ones who understand what true strength is. The ones who don't like it don't seem to notice that we all can dislike something that comes out of the mouth of people, but when you meet the empowered ones, they're usually giving you the grounded in reality chit chat, not with a I'm better than you. And if any of us do, I still work with my judgmental asshole, no, we still have that. We'll understand if sometimes we might trigger the wrong thing, because we're actively being like a know-it-all. Nobody wants a know-it-all, because we all have a 3-year-old and we all want to lead our own life. But every 3-year-old will know when we're in the presence of another 3-year-old who wants our well-being, because that's the timber of truth that all of those of us who do know, in God's case, he's equanimous, discerning, and loving. You can read my chapter, 14 pages, in the book, The Ways to God, I'm a co-author of. And his timber has consistently been that, which is where I'm at ease. Or you can learn of it, as scientists call it, restored embodied, resilient people. And here's your flow state and blissed out state. Very possible. Selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness. Ones who have not achieved it yet, they don't know the capacity of the flexibility that their metastability has, because they don't wield their emotional plane when things get, and it did, or any of that, okay? And even the casting of stone. So, long story short, as we conclude with this Sub-Somatic-Mindset Micro-Habit example, so you're in the middle of a reactive moment, whatever it is, that whether it's an earthquake, whether it's some asshole in front of you, whatever it is, you know though that you want to maintain composure, because that's the grown-up thing to do, and because there's no need to be reactive, since you won't be wise or emotionally grounded. And so you're ineffective as an interacting person. You're ineffective. And you're going to spit out bullshit from your mouth, by the way. So people that get reactive, they just begin to talk, and I'm sorry. It's like, okay, yeah, but you know what? So we don't do the I'm sorry, and then we don't learn how to work with ourselves. We all can get reactive, okay? We all can say things we don't mean. Everyone is made, humanly speaking wrong, well, whatever. But yeah, everybody is forgivable, because that's the part of where really the ones who don't know, again, I'm in the spiritual community, so I learned from Jesus how. And it's a very, very not nice thing to try and make people who made a promise not keep the promise. But also, I understand from my left what people who are not capable of loving have going on. And I'm happy that they can feel strong when I instead choose the right silence, like the Buddhist psychologists talk about. Because there's no need for me to do any kind of shaming, blaming, faulting, revenging, which, by the way, is a tit-for-tat kind of attitude, which is the unhealthy, self-righteous shit that goes on. And those are core wounds that are bleeding in people who are wanting revenge. And so, ineffective. But if we spot them, we know what Peter Pan Lost Boys are doing. They're fighting Hook. And with that, when you're in a meeting, therefore, you don't have 10 minutes to reset, but the Sub-Somatic-Mindset Micro-Habit in that moment comes with you have the capacity to have mindset skills because your mindfulness training stuff, all of it is not a risk. So you're bilaterally integrated. Okay, this is very important because some people are not. And with that level of capacity, you will be able to, in this low capacity moment, which I will explain, you will be able to, with your compromised window of tolerance, with the individual or the situation completely actively there, regulate yourself. That's the free will choice you have. You don't have to, but that's what you can do. Okay, so a Sub-Somatic Mindset Micro-Habit is a rapid 5 to 60 second where you become aware of that physiological state of what's going on. It might be a little bit longer, a little bit less, and you take that pause, you breathe, and your mental shift is, okay, later, let me just continue to deal with what I'm dealing with, and your inner strength is composure because you're in a ventral energy state. The sympathetic energy seems strong, and definitely that fight response will do something for people. So I'm not insulting it because all of our body, brains, nervous system mannerisms are important, meaning that it serves us right. But when it becomes the MO, that's a person who is not strong. That's a person who's going to become eventually in their head, I'm right, they're wrong, and really it's not needed, and it's not going to help the entire room either because they're actually closed off to others. But like I said, not a competition, just two different frequencies, which is what I'm trying to describe to you. Empowered strength is I am maintaining steadiness under pressure because I'm in my ventral vagal state. I'm breathing. I'm capable of understanding what just happened, and therefore I'm capable also of understanding that I can pause because there's no physical life threat. So I can, in that moment, this is the capacity of an autonomous, self-regulating person. Those who are not capable of it yet, that's why mindful therapy. Okay? And for all I know, even with therapy, I don't know all of the back end and information on all the groups, but I do know that all of them are supporting people to become emotionally mature and aware and to coexist all together, and that's great news. And so in this 60-second moment, you will shift your mind, you'll shift that body, shoulders drop, change the posture, sit in my sit bones, and exhale. Immediately you begin to run those SMART frameworks or mindset with the micro-habit frameworks, depends which one catches your eye, or maybe you have your own mantra, your own phrase, you know. I almost reacted and then I remembered, sovereignty is a choice, or emotions are not my sovereign rulers, they're signals, I'm going to work with them. Or simply, okay, we don't let effective realism rule us, let's work with this, and no spiritual entities can actually come near you in any way to confuse you, by the way, that's really clear. Good means I support all people, and that's why it's so easy for those of us who do understand everyone can be good, but that's where we also understand if someone and more had shitty shit go down, the monsters in their head, as Dr. Daniel Fox calls them, is family in the head. It's unfortunate. So that's the sad news for the brothers and sisters who don't have ease inside. Okay, so as we conclude this lovely Sub-Somatic Mindset Micro-Habit, it's a 5 to 60 second moment, and you get all relaxed in your body and you disrupt that thought process for a minute, and as you're re-entering the body safely, you, in the environmental constraints, you can't leave the meeting, you can't whatever, you allow yourself to pause, that survival mask can come off, you can be a person who in the moment can support yourself to stay authentic. And the mask, if you do need it, then you'll know you need it for some reason, which obviously it's simply put going to protect you from this moment where you're needing to take time later on to evaluate what happened and then to bring forth that authentic interaction that you would want. And so building your baseline sovereignty. True emotional mental mastery isn't about being perfectly regulated or meditating through chaos every second. Not at all. In fact, quite the contrary. But it is about knowing your window of tolerance, your nervous system, and the capacity to bring yourself to your state of ease. And on that note, if you recognize that you are stuck in one of those survival defensive loops or patterns that become obvious, what you're going to want to know is that your nervous system works with you when you work with yourself. And the skills are the ventral vagal state, the mindset practices to lead yourself to spot what's going on, and then it's not about willpower, but it is about the free will choice and the capacity to know inner strength comes because I create good resilience. Now, if on the other hand, you don't feel good, you're not expanding, you don't feel empowered, and there's repeat patterns and you struggle, the best example I can give you is a human being and or more, many, but in one case, they're like, I notice that when I'm upset, I actually go and spitefully pick at people to make them unhappy so that they can be unhappy like I am. And I said, well, now that you've noticed that, actually you can do something about it because that means you're aware of it, so you can stop it. That's the part of where a person who's like, but why should I? They don't stop doing da-da-da-da. Here's a perfect way of someone disregarding not only the signs that is called a trigger, those are maladaptive child patterns of behavior, and a bunch more. Furthermore, they just said, I don't care. So they don't care about relational integrity, and they don't care to stop something, but they also didn't notice that they said it's too hard. Okay, so those are the people who are faking it and who could be better at a mindful therapist once they're ready to love, compassion, all the things we talk about. Their baseline will be easily accessible because that's the not tit for tat. It's I'm a human, you're human, and I don't want to bring in my bad manners because I don't have to. And so people who don't yet understand this say that we don't feel while we feel. We just regulate our intensity, regulate our sensitivity, you regulate your temperament, you work with your personality patterns, and that's the intelligent sentient being that every human, whether spiritual or simply scientific, will be able to say they come together, which is why we've never been against each other. Science and spirituality always come together to support humanity to move into that future that I, as a mystic, know about intuitively with my faith, with God, and with Akash and Source. And those who are scientists can say it's all bullshit, or like Thomas Campbell points out, love wins. He's a physicist. But my point is, when you understand that you can navigate this lovely 5D frequency and beyond, it's because you're ventral vagal aligned and you're enjoying the willpower that comes from good resilience and your restorative embodiment. And so to start mastering further this expansion of you and this composure, regulated leadership, you want to check out the lovely step-by-step smart micro-habit composure and core growth guide, the free PDF. That's a 10-minute. Then there's a 1-day practice, and you can check out, there's the regulated leader, the lovely accessible guide, thanks to my life partner who gave me the idea, your sovereign blueprint. Those are 3 guides specifically for those of you who like to read up on notions of that lovely somatic and mindset theories and researchers and words that I'm not going to use right now. But there's also 3-day mindset practices, 7-day mindset practices. Send any of those who you do know enjoyed their regulated leadership to the Pay Hip Store 2 and to HP to come join us. And so you regulate your internal intensity, you master your emotional depth, you unlock the empowered self-sovereign leader within, and that's by learning to be yourself the smart way. Stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. And having chosen the micro-habit to do so, and it's one that comes from your heart, because you can't actually be connected, present, grounded, and attuning to anyone, or inner strong if you don't know how to stay self-regulated. Our survival embodied brain serves us well when we're with a bear and physical life-threatening situations, but our sympathetic energy is actively unnecessary when we're dealing with circumstances that are between people. And like I said, the earthquake is an example because even though of course it's scary, but I know that the roof didn't fall on my head, so I can actively start working in those 5-60 seconds or whenever and throughout the day, whether I like it or not. If I pout about it, I don't strengthen my window of tolerance. And if I sit with it in neutrality, I understand, humanly speaking, it's normal to be afraid, upset, and sad, and to want to be with people that you love in a safe environment. And so some people like to go distract themselves. That to me is called not handling the capacity of being with yourself in that moment. But that's, again, not for me to say because everybody chooses. I like to stay in safety because when your nervous system gets triggered, you have a window of tolerance for a reason, okay? So your body's tired, like today I'm still tired. It's gonna take a couple of days or more for my body to process it all, and then I'm still hyper-vigilant because who knows tonight what's gonna happen, tomorrow, okay? And so with that, plus the people with the shitty wanting to tell us about what shit's going down without ever like thinking twice about the fact that they're just creating a lot of unnecessary panic. But luckily on that end, I get to let you in on, I spot them. I like to keep up to date with what 3D4D does so that I can tell you, don't listen to them, but also allow yourself to discern. There are those who will tell you, this is what we know, this is what we don't know, we can't guarantee this, but we are doing the best we can. You choose if you're going to discern, and a healthy skeptic discerns, and a healthy skeptic doesn't doubt just because. So the body experiences and the mind thinks through, and when you are able to know, I trust in humanity and we all make mistakes, there's no need for me to look at conspiracies or the past mistakes as if they're doing these things on purpose. Effective realism distortions, insecure people who have a story, the narratives, the charged narratives. So whenever you are seeing 3D4D, you're going to spot Peter Pan, the Lost Boys, and Wendy. And you're going to practice in that moment to breathe, stay stable, logical. You transcend that which is the rigid logic, because you are logical, emotional, and here's our intelligent, sentient beings, and we want to support humanity with the inner strength of the ventral vagal state, but also say, discern, please. Peer-reviewed research, and then let's come together and remind ourselves, entrepreneurs are out there, nonprofits are out there, we're continuing to be there for each other, and so we all continue working together. Check out PayHip, check out Substack. Thanks for stopping by. And the inner strength thing, I told you about it, so I think I didn't leave you hanging. But basically, when you're a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person, you build that emotional intelligence, the mental intelligence, and the resilience is empowering. And you're breathing very much from here. This is who I am, with the knowledge that you can make mistakes, and so you don't collapse or be ashamed of it. And that's a very different frequency than what the 3D4D continue doing with the unsteady self-image, with their meshing codependency, with their lack of capacity to close core wounds, with their also suffering. And that is the part of where I don't have the capacity to say anything, because you can't make someone go to mindful therapy, nor can you help them to get the right one. But furthermore, it's a journey that they need to want to get to become their self, meet the whole human being. But those first 3 years are scary as shit, or first aid or whatever, but first 3 is implicit memory. So please, let's remember not to judge anybody's nervous system and their story, because that's the whole reason why the unhealthy, fearful ones with their unhealthy, self-righteous stuff continue to want to tell others what to do as if they know what's best for all, when no, you don't, because no two nervous systems are alike. And when it comes to the entire globe, there's 8 billion of us, and we look to be negotiators, to be collaborators, to continue to build systems, and we fix that which is broken, because that's exactly why when it breaks because it wasn't built by great leaders, was it? And some people say, but yes, and I say, if they're great, then they will be people who can see, and people who can be discerning and smart, so they will know how stability works for their mind, and clarity, which is where, again, smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors every now and then, but to be continued. In the meantime, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.